everybody, this is Captain Isabel Jennings from Your Life Matters News and Comment, and Your Life Matters Wellness, coming on kind of quick. It's Monday, March 8th, 2021, and I just want to give you an update on some of the things that happened this weekend, as well as some of the things, well, for the most part, things that you may or may not be aware of. And your life matters, our lives matter, and our freedoms matter. And I hope that you grab a hold of the severity of issues. I'm going to talk about maybe 3 points, at least 2. The first one is our borders. As of late, we have roughly 6,000 people crossing our borders, our southern borders, creating mayhem, and all in the guise of, they're seeking asylum, and there are not any constraints there. There are not any, at this point, there are not any really good measures of controlling whom is coming in or for what purposes they're fleeing to here. I will give you my perspective on that, but I want you to go and look up Dan Crenshaw. He is a congressperson from Texas. He said it's a grave threat to our country. It is grave, and they're trying to hold things at bay. They don't have the manpower. And the other person that's getting a lot of hits is Mark Rubio. He is down there. These men are down there. There are videos on them down there trying to give us an awareness of the magnitude of the issue. It's severe, and what's his name? Mark Rubio is basically he's getting hit because a lot of these people that are coming over, we have cartel coming over. It's not fear. It is a reality. We have cartel. We have sex abuse offenders and people who are bringing children over for this main purpose, to sell children. And we are like, oh, well, people need to have, they're human beings, and they need to have safety and stuff like that. Yes. And my comment on that is this. I have many friends who have had to go through the due process of coming into our country and getting their green card temporary. I have a lot of missionary friends that come in from other parts of the world, and they have to deal through so much stuff to get the approval of our nation to come in to do things in due process. And what is happening here blows everything out of the water. I have friends that stood the ground and became American citizens the way we've always done, from coming into our New York system. I mean, I have a lot of people that I know that have gone through this, and they are naturalized citizens as a result of following our rules. The other thing I have personally helped write the stories for several people who have had to escape tyranny and pain and suffering and whatever, including Islamic Brotherhood regimes, to flee here. And they had to go through our due process to get to where they are for political asylum. I've had to help write their story in order for them to go through the legal channels. Okay, so what is happening here is absolutely appalling to you, the American citizen. You should not allow this to happen to you. And it has, because we have a president who is just, he doesn't really understand you, the citizen. He wants you to be masked and curtailed and restrained and all this under a COVID guise, which there is something to it, but there's a bigger picture that you are not seeing. Okay, there's a huge picture. And I'm praying that you look up Dan Crenshaw's videos, look up Mark Rubio's their attacks on him. These are just 2 people. There's a lot more people saying, holy crap, we've got to go and protect our borders on a state level, because they still have state jurisdiction to some degree, I guess. And here's the deal with me on this issue. Occasionally I go in to see who's saying what about what, and the naivety that's out there is perplexing. It is so perplexing, because I have a lot of people saying, oh, well, they need to come in and stuff. I am not telling you that people don't have a value system of, having to need to have freedoms. I am not saying this to you. What I am saying is any other country you have to go into, you need shots, you need a visa, you need a packet of whatever timeline you're supposed to stay there. I know, because the organization that I've belonged to have had to deal with a lot of dotting your I's to other countries. And we're talking about, I think it's 204 countries that the organization I've belonged to have had to go in. All right. So why do we have to have open doors just to do? Okay. Think that through, people, and stand up for those who are promoting this to just have open borders. Stand up. You have a right. You voted those people in. You voted them. All right. And we have issues about our voting system. I know. Step up and be a presence. Be an active, proactive to this tyranny, because it is terrible what's happening. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is stimulus packages. What the hell are they? You are sitting in your house, maybe collecting some employment check. I don't know what for what, and you have needs. I work in an industry right now, and the people who I'm talking to daily, at least 4 times a week, I'm there. Okay, they are having such a hard time. All right, and then you have these people who are in our leadership who are just like just tossing dollars out the window, and they're calling it a stimulus package. Okay, this past weekend, not mainstreaming to me or to you, but underneath the gun, a $1.9 trillion package was signed for COVID relief. Do you know 9% of that package, 9, goes to actual COVID relief? Okay, let's look at the stats. I'm getting the breakdown. That my source is Devin Nunes, and the breakdown, some of it, okay, the breakdown goes like this. This is from the House Budget Committee. So take away that 9%, whatever that is, all right, and know that there's $270 million going to the arts endowment. Okay, another $200 million is going to our museums and our libraries. Another $50 million is going to, quote, family planning. What the heck is that? Let's get into that underlying thing. $112 million is going to something called the BART funding. I have no clue what that is. You add that up. Is that COVID? Is that a COVID relief bill? And I saw something underneath this, Mark Devin's, whatever. He says, designer masks are not science. I have a whole mask issue with that. But can you imagine that? Now, this is a tandem bill, by the way. This tandem mindset from the Democratic Party is this. They've done this before. They've slid through big bucks underneath your belly, your tax dollar, big bucks under your eyes. You have not seen it. The major media won't tell you, but they've slid it through before. Not just through this COVID thing, but back in the days of the Obama administration, when Obama first walked in, he said, oh, we need a relief effort to push through. So he pushed through $800 billion. Okay, of quote relief. And do you know what it was used for? You research it. This relief bill under the Obama administration was basically, the bulk of it was a slush fund to start grassroots re-election campaigns. $800 billion. Did you get any of it? Did your tax dollars get back into your pocket, America? I don't think it did. I'm just telling you that if you want to do something to change something, get into grassroots systems like the Walk Away movement with Brendan Straka. Okay, get into grassroots working and move your butt. Get out there. You can call your senators. You can call your congressmen and say, abso-freaking-lutely not. Flood those phone waves. Get into Dr. Shiva Ayadari. He is an MIT geekaholic 4 times over, and he knows economic strategies at its grassroots. Get on board with what he's doing. There's a lot more here. There's a lot more. God. So one of the things I saw this weekend was I liked what Bill O'Reilly said about the HR 1 and the HR 80. And here's the deal with that. HR 1 was passed this past week by a vote of 220 to 210. And everyone's keeping that quiet. Biden, our president, is for H1. What does that mean? 10 things that will happen under H1 if it passes the Senate. 10 things. Same day voter registration. You sign up and you can register. You don't have to show an ID to vote. All convicted criminals who have been released, they're allowed to vote no matter what. Each state has a 15-day prior registration to vote system by mail, any way you want. Anyway, okay, in this particular bill, this might be a good thing. If it passes, there's a disclosure act of who is donating to whom and how much. That might be a good thing. Okay, in this particular HR1, it actually creates a new ethics code for the Supreme Court, ensuring that all branches of government are impacted by the new law. And what does that mean to you? Our founding fathers did not set this up that way. They set it up that if there is a discrepancy here, you had this option. If this and this were creating mayhem, you had this. And overall, a due process of fairness, which is something that is not seen on the, other areas of government in the world. This means that the Supreme Court does not have the ability to overthrow any part of For the People's HR 1 Act or Equality Act. So, that being said, no ID to vote, same day registration, or mail in anytime you want. This is not for the people. This is something Biden is all for. You think he's for you? Absolutely not. Between the borders flooding in, and let's get real here. I didn't really look at this firmly, but I do not see something in place because orchestrating the systematic progression of keeping our country safe through, quote, the COVID issue. We have to wear these freaking masks and protect ourselves going into freaking places like Walmart and all those mainline places, Costco's, all of them, and restaurants. We have to wear this, and we can't even hug each other. But we've got 6,000 people coming into our borders with nothing but the shirts on their back, and I have compassion for that, but they're not being enforced to do it. Something to think about. I'm Catherine Isabel Jennings for Your Life Matters News and Comment. Please get on the horn and get proactive. Get proactive. Get proactive. That's all I have to say right now. Have a good day.